Please be seated. Excellencies, ambassadors, and high commissioners, representatives of the international organizations, members of the consular corps, senior government officials, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a good evening. It is, as always, a pleasure to have you here. What we have built together over many years and across different sectors with the country partners you represent and the different organizations is remarkable. Our collaboration and friendship have been vital to Rwanda's revival and development. We do not take this lightly, and I thank you for it. Nowadays, none of us can afford to be indifferent to geopolitical trends. Whether or not you believe that there was a rules-based international order, it is clear that changes are underway which will affect all of us. It is predictable that Rwanda, even as a small country, is caught up in the middle in its own way. One thing that has not changed, however, is that right and duty of every nation to ensure the safety of its borders and people. It is that duty that never changes. Rwanda is no exception. And yet, for reasons that continue to elude us, Rwanda is consistently asked to ignore threats to its security and compromise its national defense. The conflict in eastern DRC is not new. It's neither new nor is it too difficult to understand. It has been prolonged for decades due to neglect and complacency, notably by those with the power to make the biggest difference in resolving it. Rwanda's security concerns stem from the continued presence of the FDLR and its violent extremist ideology, which is the ideology of genocide. Unfortunately, that seems to have some backers in the region and beyond, under all kinds of guises. In the late 1990s, cross-border attacks by this militia from the territory of DRC claimed thousands of lives inside Rwanda. The Congolese government has provided political cover and financial support to FDLR and integrated this group into its military structures, from where it now operates with total impunity. They attacked Rwanda on multiple occasions. Some countries issued travel advisories as a result, and lately the son of the former leader of Rwanda, who led this country into genocide, and other close collaborators of his have been visiting Kinshasa in order to deepen the alliance with FDLR, and they have more or less openly been welcomed there. We have consistently raised these issues in every relevant forum and directly to many of you here. But each time, the root causes and structural drivers of this conflict are dismissed in favor of short-term measures and interests. Rwanda, because of its history and its geography, requires defensive borders. Our defensive measures are aimed at this objective and nothing else. FDLR is far from being a spent force, as I have mentioned earlier. In fact, its genocide ideology has been spread to other armed groups, which also target Congolese, Tutsi, and other communities. By definition, a signed peace agreement should bind all parties equally, and implementation should follow the text. However, this has not been our experience. It's not the case. What we see instead is that one party is expected to carry almost the whole burden. For instance, the Washington Accords clearly set a ceasefire acknowledged each party's security concerns and laid out a roadmap for action. Yet, even as the discussions progressed, there was a visible and sustainable military build-up, followed by action in eastern DRC. Thousands of Burundian troops and government-affiliated militias consolidated offensive positions, imposed a blockade on civilian communities, and launched relentless ground and aerial strikes in South Kivu. The Congolese government's intent was to shift the balance through force outside the parameters of the ongoing peace negotiations. That is how the events in Uvira came to unfold. Rwanda had raised the alarm for months. Yet, the aftermath was presented as a single-point narrative detached from the reality on the ground. The blame was, as we have come to expect, blamed and placed exclusively on Rwanda. This selective pressure has only emboldened the Congolese government and all its affiliated genocidal elements to resume military action. I'm not asking you to agree with every decision that Rwanda has made, but we do ask that you hold all parties to the same standard. As things stand, Rwanda faces an impossible choice to either tolerate the continued presence of the FDLR and its growing network of militias and allow them to grow closer to our border, or to defend ourselves and be condemned for it. The choice is therefore very clear. In our position, would any other country make a different choice? And any condemnation that comes, by the way, is a badge of honor for our security forces. That honor is not something that can easily be washed away by rain or shine or whatever. It is part of us. It will remain so in good and bad times. But make no mistake, Rwanda wants peace. But we want a genuine and lasting peace on which we can build our future prosperity. We want to leave the bad politics of the past behind us forever. Rwanda is ready to lift its defensive measures in tandem with the DRC fulfilling its obligations under the Washington Accords. By the way, these accords I'm talking about, the Washington Accords, there are actually 3 parties concerned. The 2 are, 1, Rwanda, and DRC, of course. But the 3rd is United States, the country that hosted us, that brokered this process. They are part of it. So to have 3 parties to this process, and you expect only one to fulfill its side of obligations, I'm not sure what we should expect from that.
Umva, ngufitiye amakuru meza cyane kandi ashimishije. Ngwino muri iFix Technology Limited maze tuguhe product zose za Apple waba ukeneye, harimo machine, telefone, amasaha n'ibindi byose. Uretse kubiguhera ku giciro cyiza, muri iFix tuzakugira inama nziza zo kubyitaho, kandi nibinahura n'ikibazo tuzagufasha byoroshye kubisana. N'ibindi bikoresho byose electronique ukeneye biri hanze y'igihugu tugufasha kubitumiza maze bikakugeraho mu buryo bworoshye. Ibijyanye na CCTV cameras ku mutekano wawe, aho ukorera cyangwa se aho utuye, ibi nabyo tuzabigukorera mu buryo bworoshye. Tugurisha imodoka ndetse tunagufasha kuba zakugeraho uri hose byihuse. Dusure kuri wa eshatu /ifix/ra na wa